So, it's official. Mr. Southgate has gone. Wow. Welcome to Flash Talks, everybody. My instant reaction, or almost instant, the news broke about 2 hours ago, to Mr. Southgate leaving the England post. He has resigned, not been sacked. Clear that one up. Let me just clear my throat. And I'm going to get into that because I'm combining a show here. I was going to go live after the England game in the final on Sunday, but I got to be honest, I couldn't be asked. I had actually planned if we had won. I watched it at home with my boy, which was nice, apart from the result, and he was distraught, so it took a bit of time to calm him down and get him off to sleep. I was planning on running into my local town and just interviewing the pissheads and doing something different for Flash Talks, and yeah, had an exciting experience to the channel to celebrate the momentous occasion, and it wasn't meant to be. But I have got to sum up the Euros first because I loved the tournament. I thought it was great. I've seen a lot of critics saying it was boring, one of the worst Euros. I watched every game apart from Romania and Ukraine because I had a dentist appointment, and that was simply it. So I was just looking out the window, saw a seagull having a fight with another seagull. Quite interesting. Perhaps it's debating over who's going to be the next England manager. Right, so yeah, quick sum up. Great tournament. Pen Talks, Flash Talks, I've made some notes. I'll start with, I've gone back to my first video, predictions for the tournament, and how I got some of it, well, none of it right really, but I'll go back over it. I said I would, so I will. My goal of the tournament, I've summed up 3. I've watched through most of the goals, and for me, I can't pick a defining absolute favourite, but Yamal's goal to get Spain into the final was stunning. And then we have, I can't pronounce it, I'm very sorry to any Romanians watching. Is it Stanasia? Scored that absolutely incredible bomb of a goal for Romania against Ukraine. And in fact, at the time, that was my favourite goal of the tournament so far in the group stages. And then Simmons, Netherlands goal against England in the semi-final. That was an absolute belter. And, you know, I'm sitting there as an England fan. Of course, instantly I'm pissed off, but I had to applaud it. What a goal it was. So they're my 3 favourite goals so far. Of the tournament. So I really enjoyed them. The Golden Boot. Well, this was a big disappointment. I went with Cristiano. It's disappointing all round. Apart from maybe Yamal, there's not many players that come to mind that have really lit up the tournament. There's always 1 or 2 that you just go, they're a player of the tournament for me. Golden Boot, I didn't realise I had to Google this, was actually tied by 3 players. Olmo, Kane and Musiala. For all of them getting 3 goals. It was a bit of a poor show for, this is probably why people moan. No, there's no one outstanding. There was no top scorer with, 5, 6 goals, whatever, in the tournament. And yeah, so that was disappointing. My surprise of the tournament, I went with Austria, and they did surprise. They came top of their group with the Netherlands, with France in their group. They finished above both of them, and I was really, really pleased with them. But unfortunately, they fell short in the knockout round to another team who I think were probably an even bigger surprise, Turkey. My son loved them. He got them in the sweepstake. And Turkey, they showed up. They did some great stuff this tournament. And also, as I mentioned as well with the goal, Romania were a surprise package this tournament. Hats off to all of those teams. They've made the tournament quite enjoyable to watch, because it does get boring seeing the same teams dominate. And it goes on to my flop. I said France would be the flop of the tournament, and I'm kind of sticking by it. They only scored one or two outfield goals in the whole tournament, and they got all the way to the semi-finals. They were shit. England were boring to watch at times, but France was a whole lot worse. I'm sticking with France. I know Italy went out early, but for me, France still were the flop of the tournament. So I'll give myself a pat on the back for that one. They just did not show up. Best thing that happened to them this tournament was the face adjustment for Mbappe, which ended up disappearing by the semi-final. My winners of the tournament, I went with the Netherlands. I wasn't far off it, but of course England knocked them out in the semi-finals, which of course I was thrilled about. But again, they were another team. Not the only team that set this tournament on fire was Spain, the winners. They won every single game. No one else, maybe Germany, lit this tournament alight. So well done to Spain, I've got to say. Fantastic stuff. And a great young team. And England must now be taking note of what they have done to get to this point. And it's going to be an exciting team to watch over the coming years. So that's my overall sum up of the Euros. Great tournament. I'm a little bit disappointed that it's over now. The whole 3 games a day, and then of course 2 games a day, and it was just exciting. The buzz around it. I just always love major tournaments and getting into it. I hate international football, but when it comes to a major tournament, you just have to love it. You get involved, you love it. So that's it. Euros done. Great tournament for me. Let me know in the comments below whether you enjoyed it, whether you didn't like it, and tell me why you didn't like it. Was it the lack of goals in some games? Was it there was no one outstanding as a player wise? Was it that Spain ran away with it? What was your reason? On to the main subject, the headline news today. I predicted it, Flash Talks predicted it in one of my previous videos. This would be Mr. Southgate's final tournament, win or lose. And today he has resigned. I'm going to take my celebration hat off because I've been vocal, not as vocal as some, but I did not want him to remain as manager. We have reached the end of the line. But I have to come on here and say 8 years. That's a long time. And to have gone to semi-final of the World Cup in his first tournament, final of the Euros in London in his second tournament, just narrowly missing out on penalties. Quarterfinals of the World Cup, which actually I felt maybe he should have gone after that, but I can kind of see why they thought maybe it will give him a chance to redeem himself for previous Euros disappointment. And then final again. He deserves credit where credit is due. He has done the very best he can with the national team. He's put respect back into the national team, which was in the mud when he took over. Absolute dirt. No one cared about England, and now it's got respect back on its name. So he deserves credit for that. But he's the nearly man. He's the guy before the guy, if you like. Mr. Southgate. Who replaces him is now the big burning question. Could it be Gareth Northgate? Little Crawley joke there for you, anyone from Crawley. You've got Southgate and Northgate. I'd love to know if there is actually a Gareth Northgate out there. So, yeah. Well, serious hat back on. Who's next? Now, I've been listening to all the stuff, and this is why I didn't go instant reaction. Been listening to the radio, been listening to Twitter and all of that of who everyone is predicting. I put my name straight out there on social media. He's the guy I want. I will come to him in a minute. But these are the names that we've been linked with. Eddie Howe at Newcastle. He has done quite a good job at Newcastle, you have to say. And he was great at Bournemouth. And an all-round good guy, which is what the FA went with in Southgate, and a good guy, a nice guy. My personal opinion is we've had the nice guy, the good guy, good team manager. Now we need that elite mentality to push us forward to the top, which is where we should be with this group of great players. So for me, Eddie Howe is not the one. So it's a shame. Maybe in years to come, maybe if Eddie Howe does go on to be successful at Newcastle, he could be a thought for the future. Graham Potter also been mentioned. For me, it's a no, and I don't think he has the likability like Southgate. He couldn't manage the egos of where was he? Chelsea. Couldn't do it. It was too big a job for him. Obviously, when he was linked to United, it was a no from all of us fans. And it just doesn't work. I'm sorry, but you can't go from Southgate to Potter because it's just more or less the same thing. And they're sort of your English contenders. It depends on what the FA really want to go with. Are they wanting to stick with an English manager? Or do you want to go foreign? Because I would go foreign, in my opinion. It doesn't matter. There ain't many elite English managers about, so if any. So Pochettino has been mentioned. Could be a good fit. Could work. He's obviously a bit on and off with club football. Some people absolutely rate him, some people don't. He has won stuff, but never won in England. But the English media seem to like him, so he could get a bit of time. Thomas Tuchel. Not for me. Just can't see it working. I don't know why. There's just something about the guy doesn't sit well with me. Obviously won the Champions League with Chelsea. He is successful in periods of the game. It's like wildlife watching my garden. I've just seen a fox in next door shed. Just as you do. Sorry for the distraction there. But my pick to be next England manager. And listen to why I'm thinking this. In the FA statement, they said they'll be looking at an interim period, because obviously the next game is on the 7th of September, so there's not much time to turn it around. They may not have appointed the new manager by then, which means they could be looking very seriously at big names, and the biggest name of all that's available for me is Jurgen Klopp. I'm United, as everyone knows. I put that aside. Guy's a great manager and would be absolutely spot on for England. He would take us to winners. He is the missing link for England, and I'd be fucking excited for it if we got Jurgen Klopp as our new England manager. So bring it on. I put it to you, England. I put it to you, the FA. Go and get it done. It's what needs to happen. Forget about the crap of media and all that bias towards English managers. put that aside. It's time to turn this England team into winners, because if we don't do it with this set of players, will we ever do it? So, come on, lads. Come on, FA. Go and sort it out. Question is, though, does Klopp want it? He may not want it. He knows what the English press are like. They have scrutinised him at times at Liverpool. So, other sections of the English media love him. But for me, it's Jurgen Klopp, next England manager. You heard it here first, Flash Talks. Like the video, folks. Subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Keep it coming. Enjoyed this.